Okay, this is a walk around on the 82 911 SC. What I'll talk about first is this paint job. This is a total repaint and one of the best I've seen in years. I'll tell you why. It was completely disassembled. And when I mean disassembled, glass out, every fenders off, doors off. You can see every seal is new on this car. I mean, just fabulous. This is how you paint a car. Completely taken apart. You look at every grommet is new. Window gaskets. All the body seam gaskets. These are all new. And then on top of that, you look at the quality of the spray. This has been rubbed to glass finish. I mean, there's no orange peel on this car. So this was very expensive paint job. And the story was I bought this car in 2011, sold it to a customer, and then bought it back. He only put under 2,000 miles on it in that entire time. So it's exactly like it was when I sold it the first time. I've got the, again, it's hard to just explain how smooth this paint is. But I've got the hoods open here. We'll look inside. You can see that it's been a California car till a few years old, and then it came to the Northwest and stayed in the Northwest ever since. So, obviously there's no rust issues in the Northwest. And we'll close that. And again, I can't get over the body still. It still impresses me. This is, there's not a ding on it. I mean, literally not a ding on it. I've been all over this car. I polished and waxed it yesterday. Look down the sides of this car. It's pretty impressive. And as far as rock chips go, you have to look. There's one right here. It's got a little touch up in it. Maybe, yeah, right there. Maybe a little one right there. But, that's it. So there you go. One of the best bodies for this age. And about the paint job again, now I bought this car in 2011, and this was not a fresh paint job. It hadn't been just done. You can tell by smells and all that. So this paint job is held up like this for at least 10, 12, 13 years. So if anything was going to bubble or do anything, it would have. And this is as good as it gets. So there's the body. I mean, I can keep going. Let's go on the inside. Now this is also interesting. If you notice, those of you who have the keen eye and know these cars, that is a 1984 to 89 dashboard. So again, when this car was completely disassembled, they went ahead and did an entire interior out of a later car. The only differences technically are the seats, front seats, the back deck has different speaker covers in an SC, but other than that, the doors are identical. You can see, and obviously came off a very, very nice car. So this guy, this was a restoration. I keep going back to that because it's just way beyond a quick spray and shine. Someone spent a lot of time. And while the glass was out, that's a brand new headliner as well. So very impressive. And then you look at the car itself. They chose the right one to do it, because if you look at the floors, they're just really nice, perfect. And we can look at the back floors as well, if that shows up. But they're just beautiful, no issues. And being, again, that it's an interior out of a 84 to 89, this is really impressive too. This tells you it just wasn't done quickly. This is a power seat, and they didn't have these in 82, and it works. It was hooked up. So again, it wasn't just throw some seats in it and go. This is fully functional, six-way seat. Into the dash again. Oh, let's do the floor here. Show you again. There. Very nice, clean. Of course, we don't look at rust, and they're just not an issue in the Northwest. But on these cars. And now the dash. You can see, of course, because it's like I said, it's the newer dash. You can also tell the buttons are different on 86, 84 to 89. I mean, again, everything else is pretty much the same. But they have the dash, and then the defrost vent is bigger on the 84 to 86. So he bought an entire interior out of a very fresh car. So it was probably wrecked or whatever. So he bought the interior while he was restoring this car. You've heard my stories here. This should have an 85 mile an hour speedometer. It doesn't. That's a 150, obviously. So it's been changed. If you look at the Carfax, it was changed a very long time ago because it shows 88, several mileage intervals in that time. So we have to go miles unknown because of that. But you'll see the leak down numbers, 2-3% or less in all 6 cylinders. So it is a very fresh motor. I'll talk about that in a second because we're going back there. And I've got the hood already open. Now when I got this car all those years ago, I did an engine out reseal. And so this was all my work all those years ago. And nothing's changed because the owner just didn't drive the car, which makes no sense to me because this car absolutely drives like it's new as well. I'll get into that in the driving video. There's not a squeak, bump, or rattle in this car. Again, I just show how clean this car is. When you take them apart, that's how you paint them. So while I did the reseal, I checked the clutch. That was fine. So it was ready to sell 11 years ago. That's how I do it, those of you who know me. And so this engine's fresh. Now, another thing is 9 years ago, 10 years ago, when I got this car, before I sold it and had the engine out and everything, I did the oil return tubes. Now, the oil return tubes were solid. They were the one piece, which means the only way you can put those on a car is if they're original, because the heads have to be off to use the one piece. And so the heads were either rebuilt top end or they were original. So that is a clue I look for. And the condition of this motor, like I said, the leak down, I truly believe when he restored the car, he rebuilt the engine as well. I have no documentation except for the leak down and the condition, overall condition. So there you go, Bat. Again, those who know me, I'm very active in the auctions. So let's talk about this car. It is one of my favorites.